Odin All-Father, in his wisdom, always knew Ragnarok would come. He never found a way to prevent the destruction of Midgard. Lesser creatures can only cower and wait for the end. But not you. You are a Viking, leader of a proud and ancient clan. Even in the face of final doom for all the world, you will command your warriors on the field of battle, conquering and pillaging as you were born to do. The gods are generous in their twilight hours, bestowing gifts and boons upon you. Even the most monstrous creatures of Midgard seek to find glory in the little time they have left, and so they too may join you in your assault. You will use everything you have left to earn your place in Valhalla by besting all other clans, achieving the last victory the world will ever know. Life is fleeting, but glory is eternal. Now is the time for rage. Skull, friends. Man, that intro was a lot of fun to make. If you haven't guessed it by now, we're talking about Bloodrage. So I got my drinking horn here. My buddy got me some Viking blood, some mead. Never heard of it before, but I thought it would be perfect for this game, obviously. So I filled in my cup. Why don't you grab yours, join me at the table, and let's get into it. All right, we're just going to go through a quick setup, and I do apologize about the glare. So what you're going to do, you're going to take these tokens right here, and these are your pillage tokens. You're going to randomly place these in these little areas called provinces. I've already placed some, so you would just randomly do that. The only exception is this one with the 3 different icons. That is going to go in the center of Yggdrasil. And I need one more, and here we go. So next thing you want to do is take your Ragnarok tokens here, and you're going to randomly reveal a certain amount of these depending on how many players. I'm going to set up for a 3-player game, so I'm going to reveal 2 of these randomly. So I'm going to turn this over. We have Angerboda. That's going to be placed here. And then the next one we have is Muspelheim. So that is going to be placed here in Muspelheim. So these areas, these provinces, essentially are destroyed. They will not be used for this game. Next, with the remaining Ragnarok tokens, you are going to randomly select one for the first age, second age, and third age. So right now we have Utgard, Mirkvalor, and Anlang. So these represent the next places that will be destroyed through Ragnarok. Next, you want to separate the first, second, and third age cards and shuffle those up and place them in their appropriate spots. Next, you want to take the Saga token and put it on the first age cards. This Saga token is going to move down the track with each phase of the age, so which I will talk about in a second, but for now, we're just going to place it on the first age cards. Next, each player is going to pick a clan. There are 4 different clans in the base box: Raven, Wolf, Serpent, and then I'm going to use the Bear clan for this video. So after somebody selects their clan, they're going to take all the warriors associated for that clan. There are 8. There are 2 different sculpts. They all do the same thing. Put the brown bases on. Since I'm using the brown Bear clan, you're going to take your leader, which this is a unique one, and each leader has this staff indicating, to let you know it's the leader, as well as the ship. Now, I know this ship has a purple sail. Usually the other clans have the same color, but for the Bear clan, the brown, they used a purple sail. Then you're also going to take the remaining base tokens because you may acquire new warriors later on in the game. And finally, you want to take the tokens associated with the clan. So there are going to be 4 of these tokens. You're going to put 1 on the 6 of the rage track. And then on these 3 tracks, you're going to put it in the first column on each of those. And then also you're going to take this little glory token and you are going to put this on the 0 spot on the glory space around the board. So this game is played over 3 rounds, also known as ages, and each age is divided into 6 phases. We're going to talk about each phase. So the first phase is the God's Gift phase. So in this phase, you're going to take the cards, depending on what age it is. Right now, we're doing the first age. Each player is going to be dealt 8 of these cards, And then what you're going to do is you're going to look through these. You're going to choose one, keep it, pass it to the next player, and then the player to the right of you is going to give you their stack, and you're going to go through these, choose one as well, and keep passing these around until you have drawn 6 cards. Afterwards, you're going to have 2 left over. Those can be discarded. So the next phase is the action phase. But before we get there, we are first going to talk about rage. This is your resource of the game. In the first round, you start with 6. Now, most of the actions in the game have a rage cost. So in order to perform one of those actions, which we will talk about, you are going to pay the associated cost in rage. So just as an example, you can see here March costs 1 rage. So in order to march, we are going to downtick our rage 1. It's from going from 6 to 5. Now, you can see here, this at 0, it says no actions. So if you get to 0, even if you were to perform a free action, which you can see quest, if you were to go on a quest or play a quest card, this causes 0 rage. However, if you are at 0, you can perform no actions, even free actions. So during the action phase, on your turn, you're going to perform 1 action and then it passes to the next player. Actions include invade, where you can place any one of your figures from a reserve into an empty village, indicated by these little spaces with the white circle around it. Ships can be placed in fjords. However, a character cannot be placed in Yggdrasil. It must first be placed in a village. And then we will talk about how to get to Yggdrasil later. And to place these figures, you are going to pay their cost in rage. So the next action that you can do is march by paying 1 rage. You can move any amount of figures from one province, and the province is this little section here, these little highlighted spots. You can move any amount of figures from one province to another. So I can move all 3 of these into this province. I can move them all the way to Anlang. It does not have to be adjacent. However, you cannot move figures from one province into 2 different provinces, or you cannot move 2 different provinces into 1 province. So the next action that you can do is the upgrade action. When you drafted cards, some of the cards were probably upgrades. So what you could do is, if you wanted to play this upgrade card, I wanted to play this troll, I would pay the rage indicated by this number right here. So I would downtick from 6 to 4, and I would find the troll, and then I would put my base, the bases that I had from earlier, put it on that troll, and then now what I can do is I can invade with this for free. We already talked about invade. You would pay the strength cost here of the character. However, when you upgrade essentially says, since you paid this cost, you can invade with this character for free. So now you, once again, you can place this character in an empty village on the board. And the special thing about this troll is that it says, when this monster invades a province, destroy all enemy warriors within that. So that's pretty good. And this card would go into one of the 2 monster upgrades. And since we're still on the board, as you can see, there's a spot for a leader upgrade, 3 clan upgrades, a ship upgrade, warrior upgrades, and you have 2 monster upgrades. The next action is quest. This costs 0 rage. This is a free action. So when you drafted, these green border cards right here are quest. Most of these quests just say have the most strength in at least 1 province in this indicated area. So if we were trying to get into Jotunheim, in one of those blue sections, only in one, it doesn't have to be all 3. If we even have the most strength in one of those provinces, we achieve this quest. So to play the quest, you simply just play it face down over top of your logo. Do not tell the other players what it is. That will be revealed later. Now the last action is the pillage action. This is where you essentially initiate a battle in a certain province in order to try to gain the reward listed in the center. So when a player initiates a pillage, the first thing that happens is a call to arms, essentially going clockwise around the table, and any player that has figures adjacent to the province that we're attacking can now choose to bring a 1 warrior in at a time. So it's now going to go around to, let's just pretend the blue player is to the left of me in a clockwise order. So now it is on them. They only have 1 more figure here adjacent. There's no other figures, and they can choose to bring this into an empty village. If there are no more empty spaces on the board, they cannot bring in any more. So if they were to pass, now it essentially goes to the next player, which is the yellow player, and they can choose to bring in their warrior. If they choose to pass, and then I choose to pass, which I am the brown, I could still bring in another warrior. If everybody passes, now the battle happens. Now what happens in battle, each player is going to play a card. And most of the time, they're going to play these battle cards right here, indicated by battle right here. However, if you do not have any battle cards, or say, for example, you kind of thought you were going to lose, you can play any card. So it can even be like a quest card. So what's going to happen is both players are going to play their cards. They're going to choose their cards. They're going to play them face down. And then you're going to reveal simultaneously. So say the blue player played the +5. They are going to add their strength. So this is going to be 5. Plus each warrior is worth 1 if they don't have any upgrades. So right now they have 6 strength. So my troll says I have 2 strength and my ship is 2 strength. The card I played is a +0, but it says if you lose, steal 1 rage from the winning player. So right now we have 6 for the blue player and I have 2 + 2 is 4 plus this 0. So right now I lost. But however, my card says I now steal 1 rage, taking that up on my track by 1, and I take it from that player. So what happens with the losing player is that all my figures, even the ship here, go to Valhalla. And this is this board right here. You would just place them on Valhalla, and they are dead for this round. The winning player, if they were not the one to initiate the pillage, they do not achieve this. Only the person initiating the pillage, if they were to win, they would get this reward. The card that the winning player played goes into the discard, and the losers of the battle get to keep their card. So I can potentially play this on a later round. So after that, it would pass to the next player since I initiated the pillage. And let's pretend it is the blue player's turn. They can now choose to try to pillage this. Essentially now going around again, back to the yellow player. Do they want to bring in a guy? Yes, they do. And then do I want to bring in another guy? Yes, I do. And then now another battle would happen. And there you guys go, a quick overview. First, let's talk about the components. Game comes with 4 clans. Each clan comes with one of these sheets. These are nice glossy paper. They're not too thick, but they are very cool. There's cool artwork on them. Each one has artwork on the back. The clan names are cool. You know, the Wolf Clan, Raven Clan. There's artwork on them as well. It's very nice. Laid out very well. The Valhalla, there's a Valhalla and a age track like you saw. I laminated mine, but these are fine. Here is the age track. It's okay. It's got cool little art on the back. The clans themselves, there's 10 figures in each clan. And these are nice. These are very highly detailed. I love it. I love Viking stuff, so this is super cool. Like this is the bear clan right here. The guy's got like a bear head draped over him. Very cool stuff. There's a leader with each clan. They always have this, each of the leaders has this staff. There's a boat. The boats are fine. So overall, with the minis on the clans, very cool. The clans come with each clan comes with these little tokens here. These are just small cardboard tokens. They work fine. The cards are good quality. I sleeve mine mainly because I'm probably going to be playing this game a bunch and I really just don't want to mess up the cards. They're in these nice small cards. Very legible. There's not much on the card. The tokens that you place for the pillage, as well as the Ragnarok tokens, and then the Saga token, they're all nice cardboard. This is thick cardboard. You can tell this is like destruction on there. So that's pretty cool. The backside of the pillage tokens, it's hard to tell what that is. Might have been able to do a little bit better of a job. The board is very nice, very colorful. It looks really cool. It's not too big. The point tracker around the board isn't that intrusive, but it's nice. The monsters, there's 9 monsters that come in the base box. These are awesome. There's 4 of these big ones. This guy is my favorite right here, the fire giant. This guy is just the coolest guy. I mean, just this flame sword as well as his face. I mean, this is just awesome. This guy right here. But they're all very cool. I mean, the sea serpent right here, the ice giant. There's 5 of these smaller monsters here. These are nice. The base rings that come with it, these are just generic base rings. They snap right on. There's nothing to it. Very simple. The manual is 24 pages. Really cool. It's got a lot of cool artwork on there. It's an easy read. There's a lot of pictures, a lot of examples. It's very clear in what it tells you. There's highlighted words, which helps. There's some tips for beginners. It even has a rule summary on the back, just summarizing. So this is very helpful. I understood everything from playing this game by reading the manual. Very good. So let's talk about the art and theme. I'm a huge Vikings guy. I love the theme of this. I love that Ragnarok is happening. I love that whole Norse god stuff. And I love how it's Ragnarok and the clans, the Viking clans, are just trying to do battle and pillage one more time before the end, just to make their way into Valhalla. And I love that there's monsters joining as well. I think that's a super cool idea. The art, there's a lot of art everywhere. From just the art on the back of the cards is really cool. The art on the cards themselves, super cool. Like it shows the fire giant right here. He looks awesome. The art on the board is very nice. It's very colorful. Everything kind of pops. The water looks great. All the inland stuff looks amazing. The clan sheets look really cool. They have all the art. Like here's this guy that I was talking about with the bear head over top of him. The clan symbols are really cool. The art on even the clan upgrades and all these upgrade spots is really nice. The art on the back of these boards is awesome. On the board itself, very cool. There's art on the inside box around, all the way around. It's all the clans and stuff like that. Very cool. And just this whole theme, like I said, about destruction on the world, trying to gain glory, to prove yourself, and trying to perform these quests for the gods. I love the whole Norse Viking thing. So I might be a little biased when it comes to this game, but I just think it is awesome. And the art is by Adrian Smith, which coincidentally was the last review I did for Hate. He did a lot of the art for that as well. So obviously, I'm kind of digging Adrian Smith art a little bit, and it's easy to see why. Phenomenal, phenomenal job. So back when I was first getting into the hobby of board gaming, I kept hearing this game. Everybody was talking about Bloodrage. And everybody was saying, how good of a game it was. I watched a few videos on the Dice Tower, top 10s. Sam Healy was always talking about Bloodrage. So I finally picked it up, and it's easy to see what the hype was about. There's a lot to like in this game. A lot. One of the coolest things is the cards. So I like drafting. I think it's a super cool idea to draft. So each player gets to choose one, and you're essentially seeing what the other players might take. Is that card going to come back around to me? If not, one of those guys has it. And that's cool to think about when you're in the game. If maybe it's a battle card. If you're in a battle with that player, are they going to play that? Are they trying to psych you out? Maybe they'll play a quest card and not that good card. But they also don't know what you took as well. And that might, some of these cards, this says Heimdall's Gaze. You may play this card after an added strength after all players' battle cards are revealed. So this is like a sneak attack card, adding 3 strength on top of that. So you might have lost in the initial card playing, but now that you see, hey, you're only 2 away, play this, you get 3 more, you win the battle. And there's a bunch of battle cards like that. This is Heimdall's Watch. Discard all revealed cards. Gain glory equal to the total strength of those cards revealed, and then play new cards. Boom. Wipes out all. Maybe that player played their best card. It's wiped away. Now you get a chance to play another card. And there's just a bunch of cards like that. If you lose, take the winning player's revealed cards into your hand. Thor's Primacy. Cancel the text of each opponent's revealed card before it takes effect. And then you add 3 to it. So there is a bunch of little interactions like that can completely change the game. The upgrade cards are super good. This fire giant right here, the monsters, again, that's my favorite guy. This fire giant, he has a strength of 4 in battle, and then it says when this monster invades a province, comes into a province, destroy all enemy non-monster figures in there. He could essentially just wipe the whole entire province. And I remember one time I was playing with my buddy. He was stacked in one of those provinces. And it just seemed like, why even go in there? Not with the fire giant. Goes in there,
all his figures were destroyed and went to Valhalla, completely changing his game plan around. So that was just super big. The clan upgrades can be super good. Here's Frigga's Domain. You may pay 1 rage to invade with any one of your figures in Valhalla. Odin's Throne. Double the glory award for quests you complete. So if you have that clan upgrade, and then let's say you complete a quest that gives a lot of points, say like this one, Glorious Death, this gives 11 points. So with this, you essentially just got 22 points by having this combo. Super big. And that's kind of where a lot of the magic happens in this game. These cards drastically can change each of the games. Each clan starts the same. But as you get these cards, you draft these cards, you get these upgrades, you get new monsters, your warriors become stronger. At the start, they're only 1 strength. You could have cards that say your warriors are now 2 strength, or each pair of warriors in a province now is 6 strength. So there's huge, huge cards that can upgrade your clan. So everybody starts out the same, which is super cool. Now as you draft and throughout the game, each clan becomes different. And that is just an awesome, awesome feeling. There's different tactics that you can do. I hear a lot about the Loki stuff. Loki is kind of like, if your guys die, you get points for them dying. So you might go into a battle. Maybe you have this card that says Loki's Trickery. If you lose, steal 1 rage from the winning player. So not only are you going to lose the battle, because that's kind of your intention, you're going to get points for your guys dying, but now you also steal a rage from the player. I remember my stepson one game, he had a lot of ship upgrades because he had the Sea Serpent, which also counts as a ship, and it's a strong ship. But also, he was playing a lot of cards that if his ships died, he got a lot of glory for that. Next, the battles can be super epic. So if there's a battle taking place, I like the idea of going around to each player, and they can only bring in 1 at a time. So that player could essentially see if the person before them comes in order to make their decision. And they could kind of gauge, they say, okay, they're bringing in another warrior. What are they up to, right? Am I going to come in? There's only 1 spot left. Should I? It's now, before we play cards, maybe it's my 2 strength against their 4. But however, I have a card that might say, wipe out one of their figures before the battle even starts. And they might not have, maybe they're just playing a generic strength card adding 3. So I don't know. These are the kind of things that you have to think about. I like how Yggdrasil, unlimited. There can be massive, massive battles here. And everybody kind of wants this spot because they can upgrade each of their stats by 1. And then finally, the cards. The winning player has to discard their card. The loser gets to keep it, which is big. I mean, if you lose a battle and that player discards their card, maybe in a future battle of that round, maybe you kind of know they played their good card. So you now pillage, right, to start a battle, and you still have that decent card or a good card in your hand, and they might have already played their good stuff. So there's these mind games that go on like that, and maybe now they say, well, they're not going to bring in any more figures. They're just going to lose. Maybe they played the Loki's Trickery. They know they're going to lose. So what are they going to gain? They'll steal a rage from you. Very cool stuff. Very cool. I like the rage management. Start at 6, and then if you go to 0, you can't play anything, even free stuff. So it makes you think, yeah, okay, so I have 1 rage left, maybe 2 rage left, but the action that I want to take costs 2 rage. But I might have to do that now, because if not, maybe that player might bring in another person into this province, not allowing me to bring in any more guys. So do I want to play my quest now? Because if I don't play the quest and I do my 2 rage action and I have 0, I can't play the quest now. So that's really cool. It's you got to think about that stuff the entire game. I like the stats. So if you increase these stats, especially the rage, at the start of the next round, let's say you got your rage stat up to 8, your rage track in the next round starts at 8, giving you more rage to perform more actions. The axes, the glory for winning in battle, that's really cool. If you win a pillage with the axes, you win that battle, so you gain that pillage. This increases your stat. Now you gain the glory based on the new stat that it was raised to. Very cool. The horns say how many figures you can have on the board, so you still need to manage that because at the start you can only have 4 figures. So it's a lot to think about. I have this monster and a ship. I can only have 2 more guys in there. So I have to now try to pillage some of these spots to give myself more horns to essentially get more warriors onto the field. And some other mechanics I like, the discard down to 1 card. So if you have a few cards remaining in your hand and you're like, dude, one of these cards is really good. The game says, hey, you can take 1 over into the next round. So then you draft 6 more. You have 7 cards to start. That 1 card from round 1 might have been really good to help you out in the next round. I just really like it's not game breaking, but it can be big. And then getting points from figures getting destroyed by Ragnarok. So you're going to get those figures back at the end of that age. It's in the release Valhalla. So you know you're going to get those people back. So if they die during Ragnarok, you're going to get points for them. You're going to have to pay to bring them back onto the board with the invade, but you're going to get points. So if it's at the end of the last age during that Ragnarok phase, you get 4 points for every figure destroyed in Ragnarok. Maybe you want to put your figures in that last province that's going to get destroyed to get 4 points per figure killed. That's big. That can be big. I love the components. Very detailed. The monsters are super cool. The big monsters are my favorite. But even these warriors in each clan, very detailed. Very cool. I like how each of the leaders has the staff, easy to determine. The ships, and I didn't mention, but the ships, once they go into one of these fjords, they don't go on the island, obviously. They cannot move. They only come back to you, and then you can place them somewhere else if they're destroyed in a battle or through Ragnarok. So that's cool. I'd say the 4 clans are enough. I do kind of wish there might have been more monsters, or at least more bigger monsters. I don't know. This is just, I love seeing these huge monsters on the board and just adding this kind of presence. I think it's just super cool. But these little monsters are fine. I guess that would just be a one little nitpick. It's just, the big monsters are cool. I would have liked to just see maybe 1, 2 more. And the only other small complaint would be these sheets. While they are nice glossy paper, they are thin, and I could see the corners really starting to get messed up. So that's why I kind of laminated these that I could. However, the boards, I don't have a laminator big enough, so I kind of got to keep these boards as is. And they're fine, but if you start to play this game often, like this corner right here is already starting to get a little messed up. So that would be the only thing that I could see. Maybe they could have been a little bit thicker, some thicker paper, cardboard or something like that. But that's only a minor complaint. Overall, they're pretty good. So I've only played this game with 2 and 3 players. I have not played it with 4, but I want to. And what I'll say is with the 2-player, it still works. The only thing that you have to change is instead of drafting 1 card and then passing it, you take 2 and then you pass it. That's the only thing you change. But the game is still the same. What I think I love most about this game, which makes it so fun, is the player interaction. There's constant battles and cards being played, upgrades. You just see what the other people are doing and you're like, oh man, what are they going to go for? And the battles, there's so many battles that happen all the time because it's not a choice. If somebody is in the same province as you and you choose to pillage, they must partake in that battle. They can't retreat. So there's just a ton of player interaction. And it's quick too. And you get to choose the card, right? You get to try to fake them out. Oh, I'm going to have something that cancels all their cards, but maybe they have something else that takes effect before mine. So there's always these mind games. So that player interaction is just massive. It's off the chart in this game. And that's one of the most things that I love. It just makes it so fun. Each game feels slightly different. You might have the fire giant one time. Maybe next time you have one of the dark elves, right? The sea serpent. Maybe you have both, right? Maybe you went for a lot of clan upgrades, which allow you to invade maybe for free or something like that. Maybe your leader and warriors are upgraded. Maybe you went for one of those strategies like the Loki strategy. So you want your guys to die. Maybe you went for a lot of axes. So now you're getting a ton of glory for each battle. And maybe you got a lot of horns, so you had a ton of figures on the board, which maybe they went for clan and monster upgrades, but they haven't been able to pillage a lot. Maybe they've been losing some battles, so their stats aren't as high. And that's another cool thing. If you get your stats into a certain column, you get bonus points at the end of the game. So it kind of entices you to get your stats in there. I remember one time, my buddy said at the first game he played of it, he was at, I think, like 6 rage at the start of the second round. And he's kind of questioning, how are you ever going to get your rage stat into these 3 columns right here to give you special points? And then by the end of the game, you could kind of see why. Sometimes that's how the game starts. It might start a little slow, but then by age 2, it's really ramping up now. And then 3, it's full throttle. So overall, my experience with this has been fantastic. Like I said, definitely top 10, maybe top 5. I have a blast every time I play this. I want to play it with 4, but for now, I played it a decent amount with 2 and 3 a bunch of times, and it has not let me down at all. It's cool going for the different strategies. It's fast paced. I love the drafting aspect. You can draft different cards, knowing who might have taken what, and just upgrading your clan throughout the game to make them very different from each other player. And then at the top it all off, most of the time, I do not know who's going to win. It might be neck and neck, or one player might be maybe 10, 20 points down, but maybe they have a lot of bonus points here. Or maybe they just scored a massive quest on the last round, and they just shot up there. There's no runaway leader. In the second game that we played, I was pretty far ahead, and then I lost. I think I was last place that game. So it's very balanced. It gives every player a chance to come back. So again, overall, I can't say enough good things about this. If you can find a copy for relatively cheap, I suggest picking it up. If you kind of like the Viking theme, you like drafting, a lot of player interaction, just overall good fun. Grab a beer, sit down, play with some buddies, and just have a blast. So that's my review. I rate this very highly. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, grab your brew, play some games, and I'll see you guys later. All right, take care.